All eyes on Doge. Big run up to the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up to the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Friday afternoon. Did you guys miss that song? Did you miss that song all week? I hadn't heard it either. Nobody else plays it, but it's here. So, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? We got a dip in Dogecoin. We'll talk about that. I did cover it this morning in my video. If you guys saw that, the whole sell in May, go away kind of thing. Covered that this morning. We can talk about it some more though if you're interested. But yeah, this was Bitcoin conference week. Was out in Las Vegas, met a lot of people, and had some fun. Listened to some boring Bitcoin stuff and some kind of interesting. Also, in the exhibit hall, talking to some different companies, maybe have some partnerships, some relationships that may turn into something. We'll see how that goes. Talked a lot about mining as well. Talked to some people about mining, and we'll be exploring that as well. So all good, but yeah, the price here, again, these are buying opportunities, right? Now, I bought up here on the dip on Wednesday. We had that dip below 22 cents, came down to about 21.8, and I thought, hey, I hit that pretty well, right? That was pretty good. And then today it dropped even more. So, well, today was payday. I was, let's say, borrowing some money for myself to buy that dip. But today was payday. And so I took a lot of funds and grabbed more Doge here. Because why not, right? It's in the teens. So, yeah, Orbison, I saw that. Very, very strange, that whole story about the crypto king of Kentucky thing, and just bizarre story. Very strange. CoffeeZilla covered it, so I'm not going to get into that. Just very bizarre. So, yeah, so that's what's going on. And if you guys don't follow me on X, I am at KrissPax on X, and I was keeping up to date on all stuff going on at the Venetian Casino Resort in Las Vegas. Vlad Tenev, Arthur Hayes, all of this Bitcoin stuff about institutions and governments and banks and lending and yield and all this stuff that's not what Satoshi wanted with crypto. And that's what I just kept, for days. It was just the same stuff over and over again. It's like stable coins with Bitcoin and regulatory oversight. And it was just, I expected it though. And I knew that was a lot of what it was going to be. So, yeah. MyDoge app, I met Alex, the MyDoge CTO, who's also working on Doge OS, which was very interesting. And then Doge tipping, this is Doge tipping. So Dogecoin was represented, small amount, but that Robinhood app. And it was really funny that they were doing in the back of their booth, they had this little seating area here, and they would show these little demonstrations. And they were showing Robinhood Legend for crypto. We were at a Bitcoin conference, and they had Doge on the screen, and they were showing Doge. And I was like, sure, okay. I don't know why they didn't have Bitcoin on there, but they were showing Doge. So I thought that was funny. There's my purchase of Doge that I made on Wednesday, and there I was wearing my Dogecoin shirt. Because why not, right? Because so I wore my Doge shirt. The failed Bitcoin transaction, it was just like, oh man, that was so bad on Wednesday morning. They were going to try and break some Guinness Book of World Records for most Bitcoin transactions in a day. I guess they broke it somehow, but I don't know who's spending their Bitcoin. But they live, this guy was going to make the first, I don't even know who this is. Apparently he's well known in the Bitcoin. I don't know who he is. But there he was trying to do the first of this long, day-long thing of getting all these Bitcoin transactions, and it failed. It failed. He tried to buy a pen, couldn't get it to work. He's trying to use a stick or a card or something, and it failed. And this guy here, he's kind of laughing, he's just like, yeah, wouldn't you try to do something live? And it just doesn't work. I was just like, oh man. I did not get in line for the JD Vance talk. Apparently you had to get there at like 5:30 in the morning. And he wasn't on until 9 o'clock. And I was going to sit there for 3.5 hours in line for a half-hour talk. It was just like, nah, that's okay. So I just watched that on a video screen. But anyway, it was a good week. Had a lot of fun. Where was my picture with the Cybertruck? There it is. Yeah. The Doge wrapped Cybertruck was also in Las Vegas with Doge tipping. And so got to drive up and down the strip. Got a lot of looks. A lot of people were taking selfies with the Cybertruck. But yeah, Doge tipping. Nice guy. Spreading the love of Doge. And he's got the Dogecoin themed Cybertruck was there. It was cool as it was driving. He was driving in to pick me up in front of the Venetian, and everyone was talking about the Doge Cybertruck. It was awesome. So that was fun as well. Good stuff. All good stuff. So that was my week over. We can get into more if you guys want to talk about it more, but right now it's like, here's Doge back down to 1995. So this might not be just a quick little dip. On a Friday night, we might have a little weakness here with Doge maybe coming back down. So for those that didn't buy on the dip at noon today, you might have another opportunity here. We'll see how that goes. Of course, Bitcoin also dipping. And a lot of this is just wiping out leverage. I talked about it this morning. Here's this guy, James Wynn, that everybody's talking about. James Wynn here, a high-risk leverage trader, he calls himself. A meme coin degen, he calls himself. And he represents this thing called Moonpig, which apparently he sold like 20% of the tokens in order to get the money to do these big leverage trades on Bitcoin and Pepe. And he lost $100 million with that liquidation, with that drop in Bitcoin. But that didn't stop him from opening new leverage trade, which he said he did here, right here. He said, hey, just these for now, new Bitcoin 40x leverage, and there's a liquidation price of $101,999. So if $101.99 is the target, there could be some more pain ahead. And then he also has a 10x on Pepe, which is 0.00011.7, and Pepe is now at 12.7. So he's up a little bit on that. I don't know how he got 11. Pepe didn't go down that far. He's been doing this on Hyperliquid. There are some who think that he's got a deal with Hyperliquid, and maybe he's using Hyperliquid funds or something to do some of this, because the Hyperliquid crypto has been going crazy. Hello. You were here earlier. There it is. It's up 80% in the month. Hyperliquid. So he wasn't doing the leverage trading on a Binance or OKX or any of the big ones. He was doing it with Hyperliquid. And so Hyperliquid is getting a ton of free advertising. And it's up 80% for the month. So that's pretty crazy. So why is crypto going down? Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Doge falling. Bitcoin drops to 104. ETH falls to 25.33. XRP down to 216. And Dogecoin plummets to 1976. So that's what we had. And I posted, I was on X, and I was just like, Dogecoin comes down into the teens, and I said, ouch. And somebody responded saying, oh, you're being negative. And you're just like, oh, do you know who I am? Do you know I talk about Doge and I support Doge all the time? It's just ouch when you see these big red candles going down. Ouch. Oh, yeah, buying opportunity, sure. And I bought. And here's my Doge order details. I always print when I buy. I bought 15,000 Doge. It gave me a price of 1975, where the actual price was 1965 when I made the trade. But of course, the big spread between the bid and the ask that we have talked about with Robinhood app many, many times. People still complain, oh, my limit order didn't. Well, that's because it didn't go down 0.001 lower than your limit order price, which is what it has to do on Robinhood in order for your limit order to hit. That's just the way Robinhood works. No fee, but they got that big spread between the bid and the ask. So anyway, I bought Doge. I got paid today. I'm on vacation this week, and I got paid still to be in Las Vegas. May have gambled a little bit, may have won a little bit. It was fun. And then today we have Elon Musk in the Oval Office. I guess tomorrow's his last day as a government special employee under whatever that term is, because he didn't have to go through Congress to get affirmed. So I guess the executive branch can hire people in key positions only on a temporary basis. And that is what Elon was, heading the Department of Government Efficiency. And like tomorrow's his last day. But he's wearing the Doge Father shirt. Yes, he got the Doge Father shirt out, wearing the Doge Father shirt in the Oval Office. Now, of course, the Doge Father shirt was originally made back in 2021 for Dogecoin, and now he's pulling it out because of Department of Government Efficiency, but we all know. Is this another wink and a nod toward the Dogecoin family, or does he just think this is funny that he now gets to wear the same shirt, but for a different purpose now for Department of Government Efficiency, because he was kind of the father of that too? I don't know. You guys can decide that. But it was just funny that he did wear the Doge Father shirt today during the press conference in the Oval Office. So a lot of things going on. I haven't been live. since the Indy 500 ended, that seems like a long time ago now, that Indy 500. It was just Sunday, but it was just like, wow, what a week. So that's what's going on with me. Trader Dartigrade says, look, we are in this downward channel. We're down right hugging the bottom of it here. But if we just keep bouncing around in this channel, eventually we're going to break out of it. Those are those that have a positive outlook on the price. But then you've got someone like Altcoin Sherpa. And again, he's trolling here. But he's saying, look at this pattern. Yellow, green, red. That was 2021. If we look at this as yellow, green, red again, we're going down. The price of Bitcoin is going to plummet because it's got the same pattern. And we always show these patterns over and over again, especially Trader Allen. He's really good at it, right? He shows a pattern that's all good, and then he posts it again saying this is what's going to happen next. And Altcoin Sherpa is like, hey, it can work the other way too. He's not saying that is what's going to happen. He just said, look, the last time there was this pattern, it was 2021, and BTC plummeted. Of course, that was in November of 2021 at the end of the bull cycle. And we're sitting here in May of 2025, and the fall hasn't even happened yet. So I think this right here that you're looking at is actually this little blip right here, and we still have more upward action to go in this bull cycle. My opinion, Altcoin Sherpa just said, hey, he was just trolling you. But for those that like to see repetitive patterns, it's like, well, there is one right there. And Vivek, he's been watching James Wynn and showing because the wallet is public and you can see what he's doing and you can see his leverage trades and liquidation prices. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out between Pepe and Bitcoin. Again, the market or the exchanges don't want you to win with leverage. So all of this that we saw, the big dip here yesterday and followed by a bigger dip today. I mean, it was Bitcoin too. Bitcoin dropped to 104.7 yesterday, and then today came all the way down to 103.7. And that was all taking out leverage, over $780 million in liquidations over the past 24 hours. 700, oh, it's almost, that's like over three quarters of $1 billion, because the exchanges don't want you to win when you trade with leverage, especially if you're doing 40x with a huge amount invested. They want to take you out, which is why Bitcoin going down to 102K may not be out of the cards in order to liquidate James Wynn, as well as many other leverage traders who are doing the same thing, hoping to ride, that rocket ship up. People ask me all the time, say, Kriss, how come the cryptocurrency market just doesn't go up? All this talk, particularly about Bitcoin. Everybody's buying Bitcoin. We got MicroStrategy and MetaPlanet, and we've got all these countries. We've got these banks and ETFs and all that. Nobody's selling, right? Everybody's buying. Everyone was expecting the price to go up. I heard so many price predictions this past week, 120, 150, 170, 200, 250, $1 million. Yes, $1 million price predictions I heard by 2028. And so who's selling? Not enough selling to make that happen. For Bitcoin this week, actually since Thursday morning, when Bitcoin was at $109,000, all the way down to into the 103s. It's manipulation, guys. It's all these are the market makers taking out the leverage trading. That's why the crypto market doesn't go straight up, because the exchanges do not want these leverage traders to win. So they wait for a little bit of news. Oh, China tariffs. Oh no, the EU thing. Oh, right. Or whatever else it is that might have a little negativity to it, and they'll just pile on and short the hell out of it. And as Bitcoin goes, so goes the other cryptos. Doge always falls harder than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is down 2%, Doge is down 6%. It's that kind of thing. And that's what we had. So that's where we are. We just dipped back to about 1995, and now we're back over 20 cents again for the current price of Dogecoin. What's going on, guys? What's going on? What is my price prediction? I've got a video coming out this weekend, which is going to be my June Dogecoin price prediction. So, this weekend. It's coming this weekend. You like the doom chart, Peter? You think that's what's going to happen? There are some who are saying this cycle is already over. Dogecoin's high was back in December at 48 cents. We don't know. I kind of tend to think that we had good news this week for Doge. House of Doge announced their leadership team. All good. They're building. They're building. So I don't know. Oh, we're just guessing, John. We're just guessing, right? We don't know what's going to happen. No more down, please. We got to get rid of those huge leverage traders. That's what it's going to take. So what do you do about it? You buy more on the dips. Pop B. Buy more on the dips. What is good, Doge fam? Thank you, Compo. Yeah, did you like my my conference video? That was a good one. That was fun. If you guys wanted to see a tour of what it looked like at the Bitcoin conference, I did make a video. I had my GoPro with me, walked around, gave you behind the scenes and what was going on, all the different things there. So yeah, that's a good video to watch. Just get a little taste of what the Bitcoin conference was like. That was fun. Big boy selling La Boo Boo. I'm glad you took your profits there and putting it into Doge. DC Bundles, how are you? Wishing everybody good profits. Aussie, good day. CDC, how are you? Did I meet any Dogecoin whales? No. It was like 99% Bitcoin. It really was. It was the Bitcoin conference. It was all about Bitcoin. There were a couple booths that were talking about some cross-chain stuff. The Stacks guys were there, of course, and their relationship with Bitcoin. But I was talking to the mining hosting guy from Terra, and I told him, because I was over at Bitmain at their booth, and I was talking to the guy about the ant miner, and he said, yeah, you don't want this thing in your house. It's way too loud to have an ant miner in your house, even in the basement. I saw it put it in my basement. He said, no, this thing wails so loud, you're going to hear it throughout the house, even if it's in your basement. You got to get a hosting company and you put it there. And yet, yes, they get a little percentage of what you mine, but they take care of it. They take care of it for you. So I went and I talked to the guy. And I told him, I said, I'm not going to mine Bitcoin. I know it's a Bitcoin conference. I want to mine Dogecoin. And he said, awesome. You're the man. That's what he said. He said, you're the man. That's the future. And I was like, okay, I like this guy already. Like Dogecoin. So that may be a path, is doing that. And we'll see. Vic threw another 500 at 19.7, buying in the teens. Anybody from House of Doge? No. The House of Doge was not at the Bitcoin conference. MyDoge was there, Doge OS, and I did have dinner with Alex together with Doge Tipping. And he might have given me a little bit behind the scenes of the version 3 of the MyDoge app, with where they're going with it. Can't talk about it, but it was good. And I, of course, was in a position where I could tell him a few of my thoughts on the MyDoge app and wallets and things like that. So that was good to have that conversation with him. It was nice. Nice, good guy. He lives in Dubai now. He used to live in LA, and it's like he moved to Dubai. Very crypto friendly in Dubai. What was the most interesting thing you heard, saw, or learned? Well, the Michael Saylor talk started off really good, and then it went a whole different direction. But there was one word that he used. He used these 21 words of like building wealth. And I was like, wealth building. Okay, I like that. Right? Because I talk about wealth building. And his number 3 word was courage. And I thought about that, and I was like, courage. You know what? Actually, we all share that. It is courageous. You do have courage when you invest in cryptocurrency. Because you don't know what this thing is going to do, right? You don't know. So courage, that's a good word. I like that, courage. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. That was good. But then he went down this whole path about wealth building and his plan, basically what he has done, and he's trying to get other people to follow his lead because it makes Bitcoin even more scarce, which of course helps him. There's always that angle. But he says, and he gave this example of a dentist. It's like, hey, a dentist. I mean, you could make like $200,000, $300,000 a year being a dentist. Awesome. Great. And after you pay all your bills and you do all of that, how much do you have left that you could actually put into Bitcoin? Is that enough to build wealth? And his answer is no, not enough to build wealth. What you need to do is you need to leverage your dental practice, and you get investors to invest into your business. In other words, you make it a corporation and you get investors to buy in because you say your corporation is going to have a Bitcoin reserve and you are going to be essentially putting your business into Bitcoin. And he was like, how many people are actually going to do that? And I'm looking around and, most of the people at the Bitcoin conference aren't corporate. They're not interested in incorporating their business and taking on that level of risk, because there is a risk with that. Taking on that level of risk in order to buy more Bitcoin. Now, for those that are like absolutely certain that Bitcoin's going to go to $200K, $500K, $1 million, maybe you're willing to do that. So you build your company and then you get people to invest in it, you leverage it so that you can start accumulating more Bitcoin, building wealth that way. I'm like, okay, I guess. And like the rest of his talk was all about that. But that's Michael Saylor. That's what he does. That's what Michael Saylor does. So Bitcoin double top, gotcha, double top on Bitcoin. Bitcoin double top, not really. I mean, we had a top there beginning in December, and then in January went up a little bit higher, and then in May we went up a little higher. So we've had 3 tops, each successively higher, a new all-time high, then 112K there. So that's what we've had, but there's no double top there that I see. So I don't see that. And this is just, again, just taking out all this leverage. Some call it a sell-off, but it's not a sell-off because people aren't selling their Bitcoin. It's being manipulated. The price of Bitcoin is being manipulated, guys. Oh, I thought it would break resistance. What's going on? Yeah, I thought I bought the dip at 21 cents too. No, it was Bitcoin getting shorted, market makers dumping Bitcoin in order to take out the leverage traders to the tune of $780 million, including this guy, James Wynn, who already lost $1 million. And now he's got, how much does he have into this? 439 Bitcoin for $46 million. So he already lost 100 million. How does he have 46 more million dollars? Plus another 16 million into Pepe. So that's like, what, $60 million? Is this guy really that rich? Did he make all of that? Did he make 60 more million dollars off of Moonpig? I don't know. I don't know. There's other people following it a lot closer than me. But that's what that looks like. I don't know what's going to happen. Just having fun. Yeah. Who are the market makers? Well, we talked about that, Caitlin. They're different. They're third-party companies that do the market making. There's a bunch of them that do stocks. And then there are some who do crypto. And you can just ask Grok, like, what market makers do, and they will explain it for you. Essentially, in stocks, they're the ones who keep the trading within a range, low and high. So you don't get these wild wicks, way up or way down, because they essentially have bid and ask prices within a range to keep the trading within a normal range. That's how it works on stocks. Now, on crypto, each different exchange has its own market makers. They essentially do the same thing. However, they can also manipulate the price. They can manipulate the price by buying a lot of coins on that exchange or selling a lot of coins on that exchange. And because there's so many different exchanges, essentially because of arbitrage, a lot of these arb dealers, like Sam Bankman-Fried was one of the biggest ones for a while. That's how the prices all stay in a range on all the different exchanges, because you have these arb guys who then, if there's a huge spike in the price on one exchange, they'll take their coins from another exchange, they'll transfer them to the exchange where the price is spiking, and then they'll sell them on that exchange in order to make a difference in the price from one exchange to another. That's called arbitrage. So there's a lot of that going on too. When different exchanges get out of whack, there's those arb guys. And Sam Bankman-Fried was one of them. That's all Jane Street. That was that Jane Street group that he was in before FTX. And he was doing arb trading, a lot of with the Korean markets. So there's all this stuff going on. And then, at the Bitcoin conference, it was more talk about yield and lending and all of that stuff. And it's just like, that is not what Satoshi envisioned Bitcoin to be. Government regulatory frameworks and institutional buying and strategic Bitcoin reserve. And it's like Satoshi was just, that's not what Bitcoin was supposed to be about. Not at all. Which is why I like Dogecoin. Because Dogecoin doesn't, it has some of that crap going on with arbitrage and stuff like that because it's money and traders are traders and they're going to do what they're going to do. But the concept of, especially what House of Doge is building, is all about using Dogecoin as a currency for payments. That's why I say the Dogecoin white paper is the Bitcoin white paper with a Doge on it. John, you went to the Indy 500. Awesome. So if I put a massive short, will it go up? Could. That's right. It could. If you're doing some huge leverage short, that whatever exchange you're doing it on, they don't want you to win. May drive the price up. Down is a relatively short-term thing, Dreamer, depending on how far down you are and where you were buying your Doge. But I get if you're, somewhat of a newer investor into Dogecoin, you have a higher average right now. But if you have faith in Dogecoin and what's going on with Doge, then you ride it out. But if you were just buying Dogecoin because you thought it would go up and you're going to make a lot of money, that's a little different. And I don't know what to tell you there. DW, back from your holiday? 2 weeks off of crypto? Not much has happened. There's been a lot. There is so-called mining on your phone or computer, and you might get a percentage of one Dogecoin a day doing that. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. A Dogecoin conference at Kriss's new house. No. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, but we were talking about it, a Dogecoin conference, a little bit with Doge tipping and MyDoge CTO, and that would be a good thing to start planning for, because there's more and more people getting into Doge that might want to do that kind of thing. So we'll see. What do they got that I ain't got? Courage. Is Doge going to come back up? Yeely, it'll come back up. It may take a while. The 50 EMA is just a line on a chart. It doesn't mean anything, Rageonomics. I am not one who believes that different SMAs, EMAs, 50, 100, doesn't matter. That's just a reflection of how something has traded in the past. It doesn't make a resistance or a support line at all. My opinion. Doesn't matter. Did I buy more Doge on the dip, Jay? Yes, I did. I did right there. 15,000 Doge at 1975. The actual price was 1965 at the time, but Robinhood charged me 1975 because that 0.001 additional was their spread. So, but yes, 15,000 more Doge into Kriss's bag of Dogecoin, as today was my payday. Like I said earlier, I got paid to be in Las Vegas because I took vacation time for my job. So I was getting paid to be in Las Vegas. Yes, AJ. We talked about that as well. Tweeted this out. Elon Musk wearing the Doge father shirt underneath his jacket. Very cute. Very cute. Pax Cat would be the host for the Dogecoin conference. This cycle is trash, says Eric. It's just different. 20 cents is strong support until it isn't. And we already dipped down to 1960, 1950. So good to see you, D community. Might drop to 17 cents. Not the end of the world. What's happening? Dogecoin is dipping. More on the discount on paycheck. It's nice on a paycheck day, right? It will go back up, friends. I should just get paid in Doge. Yeah. Elon will definitely put Dogecoin into X payments. It's going to be a while, though, AJ. When it first comes out, it's not going to be Doge. It's not going to be Doge. X is partnered with Visa. It's going to be fiat to begin. Doesn't mean that Dogecoin won't spike with all the hype around. Maybe Doge will be on there. But, yeah. Luca, sometimes the crypto community is toxic. Yes. There are haters out there. There are keyboard warriors out there who just like to troll. Yep. And I'm just like, with Doge, it's do only good every day. And it's like, let's just have some fun a little. And some people just can't be like that. $1,300 days of holding. You missed the 48, 49 cent high, but you didn't know at the time that that was going to be the high and that it was going to turn around. I didn't either. Again, I took some profits at 42 cents. And I got a lot of shit for that. But it was just like we were talking last fall, even when Dogecoin was down at like 10 cents, 12 cents, I was just like, let's talk about some strategies for profit taking. And I had set my first line at 35 cents, if you remember. But at that time, there was still a lot of energy behind the post-election thing and Elon Musk and Doge and all of that. And so once it got over 40 cents, I was like, okay, 42. I thought 42 would be a good number. And that's where I took my first slice of profit at 42 cents. Again, it was a strategy for profit taking. So, but no one knew when it hit 48, 49, right in that range, that was going to be the high for the cycle. We don't know that. We still have a lot further to go. It could get back up there. Was Pax Cat meowing like crazy? So I took the red eye, got home this morning, and got in the house. He was sleeping somewhere. He showed up. I gave him a little scratch, and then he was like, okay, I'm good. Now feed me. Because the person in the house who was supposed to feed him, didn't do so good of a job keeping the bowl full. Every time I buy more, my wife kind of rolls her eyes, but now she understands. Jay, Doge is not joining Solana. Solana is making some kind of thing where you can take your Doge and wrap it and put it on Solana. It's on the Solana side. It's not the Dogecoin side. And you're risking your Dogecoin if you try and put it on Solana and try and make some yield on it. It's no longer your Dogecoin. You're basically giving them your Dogecoin. From what I understand, I haven't done a deep dive in this, but my understanding is you're essentially giving them your Dogecoin. They're doing this wrapped Dogecoin thing because, again, Solana blockchain are all tokens, right? There are no coins, there's no mining, there's no proof of work, right? So you're putting your Dogecoin at risk when you do that. And you no longer own the Dogecoin. Now, so they may say, oh, you still own it. Not technically. Not technically, you don't. Yeah, I'm not saying that. Unless you're doing some naughty things in Vegas. I know, Forks, I saw your commentaries on X. And it's just like, we don't know where this is going to go right now. This could just be a momentary dip. And next week, we're back up to 22 cents. I don't know. DB bought some in the low 21s. And now we're at 20. This is all the manipulation, guys. I mean, the backdrop is, oh, there's still uncertainty what tariffs are going to do to the economy and recession. And yeah, remember Anthony was here talking about recession and Dogecoin is going to go to 2 cents. Remember that? What happened to that? And where's Anthony now? He just stopped showing up because he's wrong. And I told him he was wrong. Inflation, interest rates aren't going to be cut. So what? It doesn't matter. We're talking about a cryptocurrency here. But markets do matter, and it does get manipulated, and all of that still happens. We will see Dogecoin all-time highs again. Mark my words. Right. Yeah. Remember that mark my words that Anthony had done? What did he say? It was going to be 17 cents by Friday a couple weeks ago. Never got there. Mark my words. Yeah. Hey, Nelson, I think a time will come when we announce good news on trade deals, tariffs, crypto reserves, X payments. There's going to be no Doge 1. Don't get your hopes up. But hey, we'll see how that all plays out. We'll see how that all plays out. Yeah, AJ, there's a lot of us who, like, when it was over 40 cents, I mean, at that time, there was still so much good, and the Fed was about to do interest rate cuts. Remember in December, right before Christmas, interest rate cuts were going to be bullish. But then Powell opened his mouth and he said, oh, in 2025, we're probably not going to have as many rate cuts as we thought, or whatever he said like that. And it totally tanked the market. You started a margin account to help with DCA strategy. I don't do margin accounts. I can't help you. I'm just buying on dips and I'm holding. That's my DCA strategy, is you buy on the dips and you hold. Now, are we going to go back up to 48 cents? I don't know. I already took a lot of profits on most of my cryptos and a lot of my Doge for the house. That was my goal for this bull market. Now, what I'm buying now is for the future. I don't know if I'm going to take profits in this fall, if Dogecoin goes on a crazy run, or I'm going to hold it for another 4 years. I have no idea. But I believe in Dogecoin. I believe in Doge's future because of all those things we talked about, including ETFs. Dogecoin ETFs too are coming. That's all going to be bullish for Doge. It's going to be good for Dogecoin. So Yep, that's what happens. Price goes down, market cap goes down. Oh, you're being so negative, CDC. Why are you so negative about Doge? Someone said that to me earlier today when I said, ouch, on my post on X when Doge dipped into the teens. It's like, ouch. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that, Eric, last fall before the election. Was expecting the price to go up, and we were talking about just taking some profits, not completely DCAing out because we didn't know what the idea what the future was going to be, but at least taking some profits. I know the cat was like, feed me, Dad. Hey, Jeku. Only the globalists are selling. No, it's not the globalists. It's the market makers. It's the total manipulation of the price. All right, so look up Jane Street. Jane Street is one of them. And so the exchanges hire these companies to make the market on their exchange, to work for the exchange. 2 cents Anthony, that's right. Remember that? Is it fair to compare the market makers to the house at the casino? No, because the house at the casino is the exchange. That's the exchange. The exchange makes money. The more volume of trading there is, good or bad, the more money the exchange makes. So the exchange is the house. They're going to make their money. Price goes up, price goes down. They make their money. Now, typically when the price goes down over a bear market, they make less money because there's less trading overall, right? Interest goes down. So they don't like the bear markets. They like the volatility. They like the up and down trading. That's who the house is the exchange. But the market makers are the companies that the exchange hires in order to make the markets on their exchange for each cryptocurrency. So that it doesn't go way out of whack, right? So they put in, bid and ask prices. They hold a lot of the currency. I think they get it from the exchange, right? In order to put big bid and ask prices to keep the trading within a range. And they move those up and down. And that's what they get paid to do by the exchange. They get a little slice of the pie there. But when the exchange sees a big 40x leverage trade, tens of millions of dollars, they'll say to the market maker, again, this is all just speculation on my part, but the manipulation is you need to liquidate that guy, that trade. That's what it is. That's why this whole crypto market nothing has changed in Bitcoin. So why is Bitcoin at 104 now when it was at 112? Just a week ago. It's the huge leverage. And we look at these heat maps. We take a look at these. That's why we look at these heat maps. And it's like, this is what's going on. They dump the price to wipe out the leverage. These big yellow lines there at 106.6, that was one that we were targeting before, took out $90 million of long leverage right there. Now there's huge shorts being built up here. At 109, 110, right? Those shorts are being built up. There's people making a lot of money right now shorting the market. Eventually, this will turn around and they'll go and they'll target those shorts. But right now, this was about the longs. So that's what this was about. It was taking out all these longs. Ba-doomp, 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 ba-doomp. That's why they go lower and lower and lower to take out more of these long leverage trades. Okay, just at 104.4 on Bitcoin alone, $119 million. But yeah, look at these shorts up here. Big, huge numbers up here. $300 million at 109.8. Hey, Shane, happy birthday. Can't always get what you want. The Rolling Stones saying that, right? Yeah, and don't get yourself in too deep. I mean, if you've like gone all in and like you can barely pay your utility bills and your food because you went all in on Dogecoin, don't do that. If that is financial advice, don't do that. It's a cryptocurrency. You have no idea what this thing's going to do. So if you're down, I'm sorry, you're down, you're below your average cost, and now you're thinking of just getting out and cutting your losses because you need to pay some bills. That's not the way to live. Don't over leverage yourself with crypto. Asim, do you think we carve out a higher low on Doge? Looks like it. Wick to the 50. One guy says 50 EMA. You're saying the 50 MA. It's like June is historically bearish. I'm going to talk about this weekend, making a video. I'll cover that in my video that I'll make this weekend. Elon is done with the Department of Government Efficiency, and he's going to go back to Dogecoin. Maybe that was a signal by wearing that shirt today. Elon wears the Doge Father shirt in the White House today. Now, some could say, oh, well, now he's using that shirt for the Department of Government Efficiency since he's the father of that too. And he's just doing it as a joke. Maybe. Or maybe he's wearing it because all the Dogecoin family knows, haha, that shirt means something. That's Dogecoin. He's going to come back to Doge. We don't know. We don't know. So JQ says, my annoyance on current Dogecoin state is next week is my paycheck. No money for buying more Dogecoin this week. Maybe next week it's lower. I don't know. Gensler's not even around as far as I know. He's teaching. I don't know what else he's doing, but yeah, sorry, Caitlin. It's all, this is all in money, derivatives, futures trading, options trading, like all of that stuff all is involved. That James Wynn guy is a big gambler. He is. I kind of think that some people on X are talking about how Hyperliquid is helping fund him with this because it brings a lot of attention to this decentralized exchange where you can do leverage trading, and their token is like going crazy. We just looked at this. It's up 80% for the month. I don't know why this website is so slow. But yeah, now 75%. It's having a little pullback right now, but up 75% for the month. And that's all because of this James Wynn guy. So I think there's something going on there. I mean, you can't discount it. You just can't. Stuff like that happens all the time. The long game. Solana, bought at 140, currently 160. Do you sell now or wait? What are your goals? What are your investing plans, Nelson? What's your bigger goal? What are you just trying to like make small amounts of profits on different cryptos and then put money and buy dips on other cryptos and look for small profits and just go boom, 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 boom and try and do these quick trades? Because you're not going to get rich that way. How many Solana tokens did you buy? And is a $20 profit per token going to change your life at all? Is it going to do anything? Typically in crypto, that's not how you make money. You get a little spending cash that way, but it's not going to change your life. AJ just says, buy Doge. And you think the Doge Father t-shirt is definitely about Dogecoin. It's a little wink to the Dogecoin family. Yep. I'm leaving the government post. I'm coming back. Yeah, and I have no doubt, Nelson, that XRP is going to do well. I don't like the project. Not a fan. Not a fan of essentially the two-facing that Garlinghouse and Larson have done, betting all in and donating to the Kamala Harris campaign last summer because they thought she was going to win and they were going to have their in because they gave them a lot of money. Oh, now it looks like Trump might win. Oh, I better start donating to the Trump campaign now and try and get in with the Trumps. They're just politicians of their own right. Don't believe anything they say. Remember all that talk about, oh, XRP is going to be the currency of Dubai. No, it's not. It's not. They just made that up. Oh, but we had this meeting with so-and-so. It's good for you. You had a meeting. Awesome. Good job, Brett. XRP is not going to be the currency of Dubai. XRP is not going to be the currency of Elon's X, Twitter thing. Not XRP. No. Go do your Swift thing. Go make all your deals with the banks, right? Stablecoin stuff, whatever. That's what you're doing. People will still buy the hype. XRP will probably do well. I'm just not a fan, as you can tell. Everyone liked the stream aesthetic. Thanks for putting that out there. 67 likes. That's it. Not even 69. This is all good stuff I've been talking about here for an hour. All really good stuff for you guys today. I know it's a Friday and you're like, it's Friday. But this is what it's about. It's about the manipulation of the markets for these liquidations. The tariff thing is just an excuse. That's not that people didn't sell all their Bitcoin to make the price go down $4,000, $5,000 a Bitcoin because of tariffs. No, most Bitcoin investors don't care about that. They see bigger picture. Total manipulation, guys. Uniswap had a green candle. Do you know who else had a good green candle? Crow token. Look at that. Big green. A lot of volatility with Kronos today, but I guess someone is filing a spot ETF with staking, because you can stake Crow tokens. And so that Crow back up over 10 cents. So that's pretty cool. You can buy Doge now at 20 cents, sell for 40 cents, double your money, better than having your money in the bank. Yeah, that's true. I thought 20 cents was good. 17 or 15 cents are viable as a buying opportunity. I don't know if it's going to dip to 17 or even 15 right now. I mean, this dip right here, just below this yellow line, this 20-cent line here, this is what I looked at that as a buying opportunity there. Bought on that wick. And we may not see the teens again. I don't know what's going to happen. What's up, Blake? Thank you, AJ. Appreciate it. Lossie says, Elon's coming back. Ely, you made the 69th like. Love it. Thank you. Number 69. Ronald from Paraguay. Welcome. Bye, bye, bye. Gold. Oh, that whole Peter Schiff thing was hilarious at the Bitcoin conference. They were doing this one-on-one pro Bitcoin versus pro gold. And Peter was having fun. He's kind of a Bitcoin troll anyway. I thought it was rather funny. But he's a gold maxi, so. Viewer to like ratio down more than Solana. Come on, folks. I know. I don't have Modelo's anymore. There were going to be tariffs on them, and the Yinglings were on sale. But I had a bit to drink this past week. Let's just say. You know what? Fat Tuesdays, which they have 2 of them in the Venetian. Or you go to Fat Tuesdays, and you get the frozen, drink. And you can also pay a little extra to get an extra shot. Whew. Now that is a drink. You feel the buzz pretty quickly after drinking one of those Fat Tuesdays. But it's fruity, right? And it's like it's like an icy, right? A pina colada icy with the extra splash of rum, and you're like, wow, now that's a drink. So yeah, there was a lot of alcohol this week. So I'm like, not drinking tonight. No, take it easy now. I mean, after a Vegas trip, you just kind of have to keep it real. Got to come down from the Vegas high, especially the noise too. It's like everywhere you go, there's just this noise. Not only in the casino and all around that, but like even the convention hall. And you can hear it in my video, right? It's this overall hum of noise that is just too much. So it's nice to be home now and just kind of relax. I drank a lot of Modelo's on holiday price. Seemed okay. Yep. Nick, I think we're getting a good pump in the coming days. We could see this turn around. We see this a lot, right? We see these kinds of dips here, and then price comes back up. Now, this is going to be this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Are we going to be seeing some retail buying coming back in? I mean, that's already happened here as Doge dipped down to like 19.5 and got bought back up into the 20s, but isn't really holding it, as we're seeing 1996 right now. And then is Bitcoin going to drop more to go over to that heavy liquidation of that leverage trade? Are they going to want to do that and drop it even more down to 1026 and possibly 101.99? That's all in play. Just bought Dogecoin with all my lunch money, Artie. No lunch for you. Shaku, you won't be worried if it goes down to 17 cents. You're on the long run. Yep, it's a longer term thing at this point. It's not going to shoot up to 40 cents in the next day or two. We're just not in that kind of mode like we were in April 2021 when Dogecoin went crazy. That's not happening right now. Up. I like the up arrows. So after rebalancing during tariffs, your allocation is 60% stock, 40% crypto. Aggressive? No. Aggressive would be more crypto than stocks. More crypto. Crypto is future gold. Yeah, we're talking about like digital gold, especially Bitcoin, store of value, digital gold. But not Doge. Doge is not digital gold. It's digital currency. Exactly, metal. You've got it exactly, right? It's a game. The market makers exist. The traders know this risk is there, and they do it anyway. Because if they catch it at the right time, they can make a crap ton of money. Because if retail started buying, and you go in on some 40x leverage, and the retail buying is so strong that the market makers can't overcome it, right? The market makers can't bring the price down because there's too much retail trading that's driving the price up. The exchanges are going to lose on those leverage trades. And those leverage traders are going to make big bucks. And they just try and time it. And they've done it enough times and made a lot of money where if they get liquidated, it's like, okay, I lost that one. We'll just do another one. Just like this guy, James Wynn, just did. He just lost $100 million on a trade. And what did he do? He opened up a new one. He's got $46 million on this one. At 40x leverage on Bitcoin. Because it's like, yeah, I lost that one, but I won on the one before, and I'll win again. It's a gambler's mentality. And so, yeah, it is kind of a game, though. You're right. Is there any way through like having a level 2 or level 3 chart access and seeing where and how the exchanges are manipulating the price? I've never seen a level 3 on crypto. Level 2, yeah, I mean, Coinbase has a level 2. But you can't really see like the manipulation, but you do see the bid and ask prices. You do see where the big amounts of coins are. And most of that is the market makers, again, keeping the trading within a range. Again, it's the same thing with stocks. Yes, Campo, it was great being at the Venetian. I took a lot of selfies. It was really great. Great being there. A lot of fun. 26 years old and it looks great. There's some wear and tear on a lot of the pavers just because of all the people walking on the pavers. The pavers haven't held up very well, but everything else is in really good condition. Yeah, what's 46 million between friends? Exactly, GW, right? It's like, yeah, 46 million. Yeah, I just lost 100, so I'll put 46 in the next $46 million. James just bought some Doge. Dogecoin, digital currency. That's right, Aussie. Thank you, Metal. Appreciate it. Just helping out. So you guys know what's going on. A lot of these articles and other news people will talk about like inflation this, recession fear that. That's just a trigger. That's not what actually makes the price go down. Level 3 only for money makers. Yep. And you wouldn't even see it in the blockchain because there's no transaction happening, Johnny. They're just manipulating the bid and ask price. That's what they can do. Now, if they start dumping a lot of coins, which is what a lot of this Bitcoin was, these big red candles, dumping coins. They use multiple wallets, though, and there's no way you can tell. Pretty tough to trace a wallet to a particular money maker or market maker. Pretty tough to do that. But yeah, there wasn't just this morning this huge selling of Bitcoin to take the price from 105.8 all the way to 103.8 in 1 hour. It's like nobody was selling that much Bitcoin. Total manipulation to take out that leverage trade. Yep, Vegas is always fun for a few days. Yeah, the sphere is, I got up close to the sphere, saw how it was made. It's a cool thing. Definitely a cool thing. I was there both during the day and at night, because during the day you get to see all of the grid work behind it. And then at night, of course, you see the brilliance of the lights. Just a very cool thing. Glad I got to see it. Thank you, Dee. Appreciate it. Patience and faith. Courage. That's the word I stole from Michael Saylor earlier. It's courage. It did take courage to do that. A bit of a gamble, yes, but at that time, what the markets were doing, I was like, okay, we had that final capitulation with that FTX bankruptcy. Then that was the signal to me to go all in. Hey, don't put your faith on me. You've got the courage, CDC. You've got the courage. You are the one who's pressing the buy button, not me. Now, I happen to have also bought some today too on the dip, but I didn't hit your buy button. You did. You did that. So, Alan, there are some people who believe that if we look at this chart here, which is the the Doge Bitcoin chart, which is dipped below this blue line of 20 here. So what Alan is asking is, should I sell Doge when the price increases and buy Bitcoin? So we look at this. This is a chart that is the relationship between Dogecoin and Bitcoin. Okay. Right now, the value of Doge to BTC is 0.000019. I just call it 19. Okay. So it's just under 20, this blue line. This yellow line is 30. This other blue line up here is 40. Okay. So if you bought Doge right now, at 20 cents, right? And then Doge goes up to 40 cents. While Bitcoin doesn't move, the difference between a Doge and a BTC trading pair, it would be back up to this level that we saw back in January. Doge to BTC. So what you do is you buy when the Doge BTC trading pair is low, like it is right now. You buy Doge, and then when the price goes up, you're going to make more money off of that Doge than you would have if you just bought Bitcoin right now. And at some point in time, whether it's the 30 line or the 40 line, you could then sell the Doge and then buy Bitcoin, and you'll have more Bitcoin than if you just bought the Bitcoin today. Because Doge will outperform Bitcoin on the next run up. And whether it goes to 30 or even all the way back up to 40 on the trading pair, we don't know. But at some point in time, you just say, okay, that's good enough for me, and you do that. Now, that's if you're just looking for creating the most wealth for yourself, and you're not like just focusing on Dogecoin. That's okay. But that's one strategy. You could end up, if you play it right, you could end up with twice as much Bitcoin, let's say this fall, than if you just bought the Bitcoin today, based on this chart. And that's why I watch this chart. Will Doge come back up to this 40 level? Here it was almost up to the 50 level in mid-November and early December when Doge was at 48 cents. That Doge BTC trading pair was up at like 48. 0.000048 relationship between the two prices. So again, then as all the tariffs hit, market was going down, Bitcoin was going down, Doge fell harder, which means the Doge BTC trading pair fell harder. But now that trading pair is down here. Does that mean it could go lower? It could. I mean, we saw that with ETH, right? ETH Bitcoin. That was the big one that everyone's been talking about. Well, now look at what's happening. ETH is outperforming Bitcoin over the past 3 weeks. ETH has outperformed Bitcoin. Many think that was the bottom. I had called the bottom up here back in November. I said, okay, now ETH is going to take off. We're going to have alt season. Didn't happen. Brrr, went down even further. We had that big wick, that one crazy wick where ETH took a big nosedive on some fake story. It ended up getting bought right back up. So I thought, okay, well, maybe that was the bottom. ETH versus Bitcoin. That was in February. Nope. More tariffs, more fear in the market. Alts fell harder than Bitcoin. So all the cryptos versus Bitcoin, all of those trading pairs went down even more. So a lot of people have been buying ETH for the past month and plan to rotate it back into Bitcoin after ETH goes on a big run. You could play the same game with Doge. So that's what that's about. You win some, you lose some. Elon will kick off a bullish upside with a few tweets. We'll see. We'll see what Elon does. Yeah, I think that the business plan on the Sphere was not to make money right away. It would take a while. But I mean, they're getting like headliner concerts. The Grateful Dead were there a couple weeks ago. Kenny Chesney was there this week. The Eagles are going to be coming. They're going to do another reunion tour, but this time just for the Sphere. A lot of people will pay money to see that with whatever cool graphics they come up with. Does it take courage to hold pots? Michael Saylor would probably say no. There's no courage there. No courage. Just buying every day, recurring buys. It's a good way to look at it. Yeah, Harang, I don't know. We could see dip to 19. I mean, we already saw it today. It did dip just below 19.5. It came down to about 19.4 on the dip and then came right back up. So I don't know. Is this the bottom here and then it's going to come back up to 22 cents from here? Or are we going to see yet another lower low? That is the unknown. And again, as I said, I think that's more tied to Bitcoin and see these successive lower lows that Bitcoin has had. I mean, look at them. It's been to take out leverage. You go from there to there to there to there to there, and then again down to here. Oops. So all of those lower lows are taking out more long leverage trades, liquidating them. Are we going to see another one that goes even lower? Maybe down to 102. We could. There's more leverage trades down there. That's what you don't know, which is why I say you buy on the dips. And again, maybe you have $5,000. You don't have to buy everything at that dip, 5,000. Maybe you spend 2,000, right? And you buy on that dip. If it dips more, great. You still have some dry powder, right? So you can buy more on that next dip if it happens. If it doesn't, that's okay. There'll be another dip, but at least you're in the game there and you did get the bottom. That's one way to look at it. If I knew exactly what the market was going to do next, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys. I'd be a billionaire because I'd have traded the hell out of it if I knew exactly what was going to happen. I'm kind of thinking we might see another lower dip, but that didn't stop me from buying on the dip today, so I bought. Once BTC tops, I'd be buying Doge. Thanks, CDC. Alan, Diamond Hands. The Doge Bitcoin chart. So this is on TradingView. You just go to tradingview.com and you just type in Doge BTC. Doge BTC. And you'll get this chart, which is the relationship between the Dogecoin price to the Bitcoin price. And I put these lines on here myself, just at these different levels, just to make it really obvious on these different levels. Because I think you buy Doge here when that relationship is below 20 and then it goes to 40, just think. It would be like, and then you rotate it into Bitcoin, it would be just like buying Bitcoin, not at 104, but buying Bitcoin at 52,000. If Doge did that and you bought the Doge now, Doge goes up and then you rotate it into Bitcoin. It would be like buying $52,000 Bitcoin, but you're just not buying it today. You're buying it in the future. If the Bitcoin price stayed the same, I'm saying most likely it goes up as well, not as much as Doge, and maybe you're buying it for like 60 or 70. It works out as. It's a lot better than 104. So that's one way you can look at it. I asked Grok, and he said if Dogecoin absorbed 100% of Bitcoin's market cap, each Dogecoin would be $11.29 to reach that market cap. That makes sense? Yeah, we knew it was over $10. I allocated a few thousand from fall crypto pump into stocks. I hope to reciprocate, vice versa. Yeah. Miami boy, I do not know what a CSC casino coin is. It's probably not a coin. It's probably just a token. Asim, what's your strategy for entering a Doge swing trade? What indicators do you like to use? Where do you set your stops and take profit zones? Okay, I don't set stops because I'm always looking at the charts. I mean, if something happens overnight and there's a wicked like drop or a crazy run, I can live with that. But I don't like to set stops. That's just the way I trade it. if some news came out and Dogecoin all of a sudden spiked up to 40 cents, I would probably take some profits on some of that Doge, depending on how good the news was. If it was something that was all hype, Doge will end up getting shorted back down. So price spikes up, you take some profit, and then you buy in when it drops back down, and you get more Doge that way. That's the way I look at a swing trade. Something like that. I wait for the big pump. Price goes up fast. Sell some Doge. And then when the price comes back down, you buy back in and you buy more Doge at a lower price. That's the way I play a swing trade. But you need that non-catalyst hype, something that seems to make the price go up fast, but probably isn't long-lasting, which means it's not going to be this crazy one. Now, it could still do that. We saw that in 2021, because I know someone who did a swing trade in April of 2021. They sold at like 12 cents, and they were waiting for it to drop back down to 8 in like mid-April. And then the next thing you knew, it was 42 cents. And he didn't have his Doge because he was in the middle of a swing trade. It's like, ugh. Vegas is a lot of fun. There's no doubt. Las Vegas is a lot of fun. There are some people saying maybe the Bitcoin conference next year should be somewhere else, but they've already rebooked it for last week of April 2026. For the 2026 Bitcoin conference, it's also going to be in Las Vegas at the Venetian. The Venetian knows how to do it. I mean, they've got the conference room space, the exhibit space. There were 35,000 people at Bitcoin 2025. I mean, that's a lot. I don't think Nashville could have handled that many. And a lot of people just like going to Vegas too. So it gets a bigger crowd. So they're going to do it in Vegas again next year. No, Matt, I don't think X payment integration for Dogecoin is going to happen around the same time as the Dogecoin ETF. The Dogecoin ETF is going to come first, probably September or October. And we're not going to see Dogecoin integration into X payments. Probably not even this year. It's way out there. CDC, you think we're going to be in this range, 19-20 cents, until next Wednesday? Could be. Yeah, Toss, I thought the same thing. I bought here on Wednesday. 21.70. I bought. I got that dip. Wasn't that great? Look at that. Oh, look, the price is coming back up. It's up to 22.5. Boy, did I hit that right. Nope. Dump. So what did I do about it? I bought more. I bought more. Lowered my average, right? By buying more. Sold your Bitcoin at 109. That's good profit taking. Many say Bitcoin's going to 120, 140, 170, 200, 250, and you don't have it because you sold it. Toss. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't even talk about VP anymore. So I don't know why he'd be talking bad about me. Oh, you're that jerk. Why are you coming back? Bye. He got the boot. Didn't realize he had so many on there. Yes, it's going to dip again. The uncertainty is palpable. A lot of people just like to have a little dry powder just in case. Yep, OG Mars, Robinhood. It's not up that much. It probably went from 0.0015 down to 0.001. That's what I got mine at. Because it said 1965 on Binance. And I got 1975 when I hit that fill. When I hit my order. So it was 0.001, where I think a couple weeks ago it was 0015. So yeah, so I got exactly 001, Johnny, today. Ryan thinks 29-cent Doge on June 28th. Yeah, a lot of people are joking about it. The Bitcoin conference. Bitcoin always goes down during the conference. This week was just another sign. It's kind of a joke. It's kind of a funny thing, but it's real. It's like every year there's a Bitcoin conference, the price of Bitcoin goes down. Oh. So you just bought at 20 cents and it went through at 2012. Yeah, so 0.0012. If it's going to dip again, I hope it dips to 10 cents. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that low of a price. This green box is where I bought. I always circle it or put something on to show you where I bought Dogecoin. And also to remind myself, I bought there and I bought there. That's what that is. That's me buying. And I also always post on X as well. When I buy, I always put my little orders there. People don't believe, oh, you always say you're buy, prove it. Well, there you go. No, that's not photoshopped. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to do that. Yes, Mars reminds people, if you're swing trading, you're going to have to pay taxes on those profits. That is right. You accumulate more Doge, but you have a short-term capital gains tax you got to pay on those profits. Yeah, he gone. Right. They didn't deny the Doge ETF. It was expected. You say, oh, a delay, or no, it's not even a delay. It's just part of the process. They make comments. SEC makes comments on the application, and then the applicant then revises their filing, and then they go another 90 days, and they go through it again. So 240 days will take you through the first one, probably September, October timeframe. Yeah, October 18th. Thank you, Drip. As much as it's getting approved in a couple weeks sounds good, waiting until the fall, that's just what's going to happen. This guy's just such a fucking asshole. Why do you keep coming here, you stupid troll? Gone. Well, the Bitcoin conference was going on. Bitcoin's at 109 to 107. Well, actually, when the Bitcoin conference ended last night, yeah, it was like 107. Nope. It was down at like 105.5 when the Bitcoin conference ended. 105.5. Here's Miami Boy. Are you shelling this CSC coin? Yeah, it's a token. Exactly. Launching bridge to ETH Sol. Generational wealth. Good luck. Good luck with that, buddy. Generational wealth on a casino token. You're welcome. That was fun. It was just one of those ideas I had. I'll just bring my GoPro and I'll just walk around and make a video out of it. And it turned out pretty good. You are such a loser. Just go away. Such a troll. Why do you waste your time? Curious how long the beta testing phase will last. Could be all summer. Why does it feel like BTC creeps up higher, Doge doesn't, and when BTC gets the elevator, Doge gets hammered? No, when the price goes up, you can't even spell my name, idiot. Sorry, guys. This troll is just being a pain. No, when prices go up and everything's in the green, Dogecoin does better than Bitcoin. BTC does not creep up higher than Doge. Doge outperforms Bitcoin in the green market. But in the red market, when things are going down, that's when Doge gets hammered. Yes, and I say that all the time. That's everyone here knows that. That's just, I admit it. That's what happens. And right now we're in that. Unfortunately. The Doge ETF was not denied. Why? Using your strategy since the first time I start watching your channel, I've increased my Doge by 10,000. Stacking Doge, not stacking sats, stacking Doge, CDC. Doge isn't dead, exactly. Doge is still the 8th largest cryptocurrency. Recognizable name, tons of volume, exactly. Profits? What? People may think that I'm working for Dogecoin. I'm just me making money, but not from the Dogecoin Foundation or anything. I love supporting a decentralized currency, which is not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not a currency. It's the store of value, digital gold. People aren't spending their Bitcoin. That's why I love Doge. I'm behind Doge 100%. I buy more on the dips. I've already made a lot of money on Doge. I hope to make a lot more money on Doge. Buy more, exactly what Pedro says. You just buy more. Steel-toed boots already? Exactly. Kim, those are just tokens. They go crazy at times and then they die. That's what happens to most of those tokens. So that AST token went crazy and it's probably dying. So be careful with those. Pathetic is the correct word, Johnny, for that guy. You know, he could take all of that time and effort that he puts in to like trolling me and instead use it to start building a side business, right? And start to make money, building wealth. That's how I did it. I was broke. I was in debt. Started side hustling, started building a side business, built 2 side businesses with my extra time, even when I had 2 little kids. That got me out of debt, which then led to me starting to do stock trading, swing trading, eventually led to Dogecoin. And here I am. I rarely see Bitcoin go up 4% or Doge only goes up 2%. Usually Doge goes up at least as much as Bitcoin, but usually it's more. What would an Elon Dogecoin tweet do? Ha! That would be wild. That would be wild. I'm not worried about whales and Doge. They want Doge price to go up. Miami boy, I'm just talking about CSC as a token that just be careful. That's all I mean, is just be careful with it. Most of those tokens go on a run and then they die. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, right? Doge fam, awesome. This cycle has been more about Bitcoin. It has. Nobody guessed this. There are people who are buying heavily into ETH, like even the Trump boys were buying all that ETH and they're way down on it. They should have just bought Bitcoin. So don't blame yourself. And you can't go back and say, excuse me, I wish I did this or I wish I did that, because nobody called Bitcoin outperforming the alts halfway through 2025. Except maybe Ben Cohen. He's about the only one. But everyone was saying, oh, rotation into alt season will begin February 2025. And it hasn't happened. It's like 90% of the crypto bros out there have been wrong about that. So like I said, Immortal, I don't know if we're going to get this move tomorrow on Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin going to come up and dump even lower tomorrow? This is what's going to determine it. It's going to be Bitcoin. Are we going to see Bitcoin drop below, 104 tomorrow? If Bitcoin drops below 104, then the rest of the crypto market is going to drop with it. That's it. If Bitcoin decides to do a V shape and come back up to 107, then the markets will be green. Bitcoin's going to determine this move tomorrow through the weekend. How much Doge do you need to make 100K this cycle? I don't know. Depends on where the price goes. DCA. That's what you have control over right now. Dollar cost averaging. Hey, CDC, tell PaxCat that, because PaxCat is a big holder of PopCat. Big holder. Too many peasants spending money they don't have. I try. If people are really worried about a small price move, they're way too invested. Yeah, I saw that you hit 112 here. Bitcoin hit 112 while ETH was at 2.5. I know. Nobody knew that Bitcoin was going to go on that much of a run, except for a few. There were a few who did call it. Pedro says, wait till Sunday to buy. You're superstitious. We could see, this could be one of those weekends where it's a recovery weekend, though. That does happen. Is $1 a pipe dream or realistic? And so for this question, I say it depends on what happens, right? If there's no huge catalyst for Dogecoin's not on X, doesn't have ETFs, right? It's not being used by Tesla, no SpaceX, no nothing. Dogecoin's not going to $1. There's nothing that's going to take Dogecoin to $1 if none of those things happen. If one of them happens, say the ETF, well, that'll help, right? But probably wouldn't get to $1 just based on the ETF. So you need something else. That's what Dogecoin needs, is that something else that is specifically a catalyst for Dogecoin that'll get Dogecoin to get anywhere close to $1 this year. So realistic, depends. What are the partnerships that House of Doge is building? How public is that going to be? How are they going to market that? How are they going to build off of that? We have to wait and see on that. If Elon adds it to X and integrates it, Dogecoin onto X, Dogecoin's going to hit $1. Probably more. I just don't think that's happening this year. Where's it going to top out without those things? Tell me where Bitcoin's going to go. What's Bitcoin going to do? Is Bitcoin going to go to 200,000? It's going to double in price? Then Dogecoin will probably be lucky to get to 48 cents. And that could be it. Could be a double top, 48 cents. That's it. That's the cycle. That could happen. It doesn't have to go to 73 cents, this cycle. Nothing says that. I've always said that last cycle was totally overhyped for Doge. It went way up higher than it probably should have last cycle, in my opinion. And I've showed that on the charts before during other streams. And Bitcoin dominance would have to drop. It hasn't dropped much. Bitcoin's been going down. Alts were going down more, but then it kind of leveled out. And so Bitcoin dominance actually started going up some. But Bitcoin dominance was going down too. I take that back. Bitcoin dominance was going down because alts like ETH were doing well, but now ETH has kind of flattened out. And so Bitcoin dominance is coming back up, and it's back over 64% now. So we need another one of these things to happen where ETH starts going crazy, right? Gets a big run. And a lot of people thought, okay, this is it. Alt season starting. And Bitcoin said, nope, not yet. If someone doesn't care to always have Dogecoin to use as payment, would it make sense to withdraw from a ledger as well? I mean, you put it on your ledger if you want to hold it long term. That's your security, right? I don't know where Dogecoin is going to be 4 years from now, 8 years from now. I will tell you, more people have made more money in crypto by sticking it in a ledger for 8 years and just forgetting about it than trying to take profit, right? Buy something else, take profit, buy something else, take profit. Those short-term moves don't build you as much wealth as buying a bunch and sticking it on a ledger for 4 or 8 years. That's where the true money is made. You just buy it and you forget it. Don't touch it. What if alts are in a bear market and BTC is only being held up by whales and institutions? Cycles may have broke. Alts will continue to bleed to Bitcoin. Ben Cowan's been talking about that a lot. Alts bleeding to Bitcoin. And most of that is, yeah, I mean, at this point, you're not going to see retail traders selling their Bitcoin to buy ETH or other alts because they think the alts are going to outperform, because this cycle has been so different. So that may be true. Is CSC even on TradingView? CSC, Casino Coin. Here we go. So here's the big run it did in May. Yeah, this thing's not going to last. You've got so many zeros here. 0.00005 or 0.00006 up to its peak, went up over 130% since it hit its peak. And this is just a week ago. In a week, it's already dropped 25%. I don't think this is going to hold, dude. I don't think this is going to hold. I may be wrong, but more times than not, you get these tokens like this. They had their big run. People made profit, and now it's just going to bleed back down. At least it'll gain a zero back, probably down to 0.00008, right? Probably down to that level, but could come all the way back down to 6. That's what we typically see with these things. But good luck. Retail has no more money to buy alts. That's the other thing too. No stimmy checks this cycle. No free money. Elon was asked this question at the press conference, and he said that he was playing a game with his son, Little X. And Little X hit him. You can believe that or not. I don't know. But that's what Elon said. What was Bitcoin dominance when Doge hit its all-time high? Sure, it was up there. I'm sorry, it was down there. The Doge BTC trading pair was way up. Let's look at that first. Doge Bitcoin trading pair. Let's go to the weekly, and we zoom to 2021, and it was up here. May, oh, that was October. Sorry, it's here. Way up here. Doge versus Bitcoin. And then what you're going to see in May of 2021, you're going to see an inverse chart for Bitcoin dominance. Not quite as wild as this because it's Bitcoin versus all the alts. And so this is what that looks like. See the nosedive there? May 2021. It was almost its all-time low was Bitcoin dominance. So that's what happened. Bitcoin dominance was at 40% then. And then we had bear market. So it kind of went up and down, still around 40% until the FTX crash. And then after the FTX crash, Bitcoin dominance was at 40%. It has done nothing but go up since then. But yeah, that's what happened. When Dogecoin was going on its run, late April, early May 2021, Bitcoin dominance was crashing. That was alt season. And it was led by Dogecoin. If Dogecoin were used to pay Senate and Congress, they would all invest, drive up value. Kilmar, you blame me when it goes up. And you blame me when it goes down. How do I get all the blame? I don't do any dividend plays. No. No. I do crypto. I think I get some dividend. I think I've got some Apple stock, and I just bought it for Apple, and I get some dividend payments on it. It just gives me more Apple stock. Yeah. ETH did make an impressive comeback, but is it going to last? Is it going to keep growing? I don't know. HBAR and Caspa. I don't know if either of them are going to be successful projects. The hash graph thing for Hedera, is that going to take off and be a real thing? I don't know. And Caspa has no use case. Nobody's building anything on Caspa. It's a proof of work cryptocurrency that's being mined, but the mining is just for sort of the day-to-day transactions, buying and selling. Nobody's using it for anything. My son is always taking shots at me. I understand, Elon. Yep. I have two sons too. And man, I got beaten around at times as well. A Doge saving stimulus money back to the people would be awesome. Probably not going to happen. I think they're going to do it more through tax cuts, so Trump can take the benefit of having the biggest tax cuts ever for the United States. That's what he wants. Can we expect the approval of Doge this October for ETFs? Yes. I think the Doge ETFs will be approved in October. Yep, I bought back into Megal. It hit my buy price below $1.30, so I've bought back into Megal for the next run. I'm ready to go. I never found out why Megal did that pump. You have no idea. I think it was tied around the news of a new CEO of Megal, because the previous one stepped down. It's now a woman. And so that news got it to run. I think it was something like that. I don't do shorts or longs, demo. I do not do that. I do spot trading, buy and hold, do some DCAing, buying the dips, sometimes some swing trades. That's it. I don't short. I do not do long leverage. No. I don't want to lose my coins. The total manipulation of the market, not interested. All right, guys. Hey, look for my video. June price prediction video is coming out. We'll see how Doge does over the weekend here. Right now, just again, 20 cents is not acting like real strong support here as we're ending the stream at 1991. Harry 2.0, how are you? So I'll be live again on Sunday afternoon. So we'll be looking at the week ahead come Sunday. Also following up on the beginning of June, see how things look then. I hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.